James Gunn. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of some DCU updates. So James Gunn doing the rounds. James Hunn. James Gunn doing the rounds. And he gave a small little update on Batman that I thought was worth talking about. So here we have DCU's Batman update. James Gunn confirms the mystery script is almost ready. He was doing an interview, and in this interview, let me see if I can find the exact quote that he said. Uh, Dang, don't tell me it's gonna make me read the article for it. I don't want to do that. Don't read that. Got the monsters doing the AKA Robin. Okay. So here we go. During an interview with the Omelette to promote Gunn's Superman movie, the outlet asked DC Studio CEO how many Batman scripts he expects to read in the next couple of months. With a laugh, Gunn stated two. One is Matt Reeves' The Batman 2, while the other is clearly The Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Okay, this to me is still big news because I'm sorry, guys. I know y'all hate to talk about it, and we're way past it because James Gunn has already debunked it a couple of times. But maybe if I can find it. The Hollywood Reporter last week after my stream, let me see if I can put it. THR Batman. The Hollywood Reporter last week when they were talking about some updates with the Batman. Let's see here if I can find it. The Hollywood Reporter. They left in this sneaky little insert about here we go. Perfect. All right. So it says, so this was last week, right after my stream. Because we just found out last week that Matt Reeves is turning in the Batman script, right? We were all excited. We were hyped. We were like, yeah, he's doing it. And this is what the THR had to say, the Hollywood Reporter, actual publication. They said, you guys can stop asking James Gunn about this now. The Batman Part 2 script is in. Filmmaker Matt Reeves revealed that the co-writer Matt Tolman have turned in the draft, sharing an image Friday on them. But you can ask Gunn about who's writing the Brave and the Bold movie because we're not convinced there is one. Oh, them some fighting words, Hollywood Reporter. There is some speculating words. What you have right now is one of the biggest news sources in Hollywood that has all the connections, all the hearsay, and they're saying right now, yeah, we know the Batman Matt Reeves is coming out, but what about DCU Batman? Because we're convinced there is no DCU Batman. That's not a thing. And the Batman who is going to be Batman is Robert Pattinson. And we still get, someone just said Super Unk. I'm going to slap you in your mama's face. Super Unk. But again, it doesn't mean anything, and it is only speculation. And you can't blame the Hollywood Reporter for thinking this because James has been so vague every time he talks about DCU Batman, what's happening in that movie. He doesn't even want to reveal who is writing the movie. And some people think that Andy Muschietti, who did The Flash, that was announced to do Batman Brave and the Bold, isn't even going to direct the movie anymore, right? And so with all those conversations, now hearing him say in this interview, it's like, okay, how many Batman scripts you're going to read? And him saying two, okay, we're back on track. There is still two separate Batman movies, the Matt Reeves and DCU Batman. But also adds in another big question. If right now he says this year, Matt Reeves says this year he's going to read two Batman scripts, one for the Batman, the Matt Reeves universe, and Batman Brave and the Bold. Well, that makes me wonder, all right, then, if there are two separate characters, one Elseworld in his own thing, the Matt Reeves version, and the DCU Batman, which honestly, that's what I do want. Trust me, guys, that's what I do want. I'd be okay if Robert Pattinson joined the DCU. I feel like they can make it work. I do prefer the separate one so we can both win. I'm just thinking like how a businessman would. Will the audiences accept that, right? But if that does end up happening, and he's reading both scripts within the same year, well, then how far apart are these movies coming out? And how is that going to work? You know what I'm saying? Can you have the Batman released in 2027 and then in 2028, Batman Brave and the Bold? How will that, like, you guys, I know we're the ones, a business unk. I hate y'all. Business unk here, all right? Put your Lex Luthor suits on. I think this is kind of crazy. And I don't know how that would do for business because it's going to hurt one or the other. Because it's going to be the people who love the Matt Reeves version not ready for a reboot 1 year apart. Imagine if we got Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man just 1 year apart. What would that have done to Andrew Garfield's movies, right? But then also, once you get people used to the new Batman, well, then old Batman is old news. Are we going to get a full trilogy of the Matt Reeves version? Because I don't believe anyone when they say, "Oh, the Batman Part 2 is canceled." No. You want to talk about the Batman Part 3 canceled? I I don't know if I could argue with you on that one. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that happens, right? So it is really interesting to hear from James Gunn himself that he's like, yeah, I'm going to read Matt Reeves's and I'm going to read another Batman script, and that's Brave and the Bold, and they're both going to be developed at the same time. That's wild. That's some insanity right there. I wonder how that'll work, if that'll pan out for them. You have to get your nerdy mind out as the person who looks at all this news and can understand they're two different characters, and think about how your mother or your father, who have real lives and aren't wearing little boy costumes on a live stream, how are they going to feel when 1 year there's a chance you could go watch the Batman Part 2 and a trailer in front of the Batman will be for the new Batman. Oh, dude, can you imagine you're sitting there as someone who doesn't know that's a thing, and you're like, oh, dude, I can't wait to see the sequel. They're going to reboot them already? I just got here. It's something that could happen, man. It's something that could happen. So I toss it off to you guys. What do y'all think about that? That they're literally going to be making these two Batmans back to back next to each other. How do you work that out? How do you even explain it to audiences in a way they'll understand that it's like, hey, this is still going to be its own thing, but this is going to be its own thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm doubting too much, because if you think about like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, no, I mean, that movie made $1 billion. Nobody had a problem with going from Jared Leto to Joaquin Phoenix. Definitely had a problem that second time when he got his booty hole tingled. I still can't believe that happened in that movie, man. What the heck?